Good morning, everybody. Uh, it's Friday, May the 11th, 2012. And this morning it was actually like 47 degrees when I got up at 6 o'clock. Everybody that knows me knows I get up and out and about early, so uh, it felt pretty good going out and being a little bit chilly. And let me show you what I found at the store before I do anything else. Let me show. I am forever at work cutting my fingers, and it could just be a little teeny tiny cut, like on the aluminum part of the juice caps and stuff that I work with all day, and I'll just cut my finger and it'll end up getting real sore. Bleed a lot, gets sore. I have to put a Band-Aid on it, but then with the way I'm working with my hands all day, the Band-Aids don't want to stay on. So when I was out this morning, I found finger guards. I had never seen finger guards before, and so I told Joe they look like condoms for fingers. If you can see this, there's like 36 in a pack, and I got me some of these because I could put my Band-Aid on and then put a finger guard over, and they look like condoms for fingers. And you put them on the same way. You put it on your finger and just roll it down. It looks like a condom, but it works. And take me a pocket full to work with me, just for my fingers. Anyway, have you heard in the news about the school teacher? School teachers are getting such a bad rap anymore, and this is making me crazy. This school teacher was suspended pending being fired. They're not sure if they're going to fire her or not for what she did, and I think it's a she, for what she did to one of her students. I believe this was a high school student. She made that student wear I'm not sure what you call it. She calls it the collar of shame. It's the cone of shame is what it's called. You know the cones where they put around an animal's neck after they've had surgery or stitches to keep them from biting themselves? She made that student wear one of those and called it the cone of shame because the student was acting out in class. So, Primetime News last night posted on Facebook about this and then asked viewers for their opinions. What do you think about this teacher who made the student wear the cone of shame? And there's a lot of mixed comments on it. Some people were like, one particular comment said, well, how does the teacher expect to get any respect? Look, she's not respecting the students. Well, for her to put that cone of shame on a student, they had been disrespecting her first. I'm so sick of all these students and the young people saying, well, they don't respect me. Why should I respect them? Kids today don't respect anybody. They just don't. Some of them do. Not all kids are bad. Just let me clear that up. Not all kids are bad. But you got kids out there going crazy that respects nobody. They don't even respect it. They don't respect their parents in their own home. You know they're not going to respect the teacher. So then, some parents have said, my sixth grader wouldn't even put up with that. You mean your sixth grader is going to stand there and tell a teacher what they will and will not do? There's something wrong with that picture, because when my kids were in the sixth grade, they did what their teacher told them to do. Now, some people said that she did good, that she shouldn't be fired. There's no accountability in the classrooms anymore. There's none. What is the teacher supposed to do? How is that teacher supposed to teach that whole class and these kids make passing grades? If one student acts up, it's going to disrupt the whole class, and the teacher's hands are tied. They can't smack them with a ruler on the hand like they used to. They can't spank them like they used to. Sending them to the principal's office is not going to do any good. You suspend them, they don't mind. They just sit at home and stay online. You put them in timeout. What are they going to do? They're going to sit there and text their friends. There's no accountability, meaning there's no consequences. And the students know this. They know this. So I don't see anything wrong with cone of shame. I don't see anything wrong with it. Now maybe she could have used maybe a dunce cap. Remember the dunce caps? But then they would have said that was wrong too. If she had, for example, if she decided not to use that cone and stood that student in the corner, what would have happened? That somebody would have called that abuse. How is that abuse, standing a child in the corner? That is not abuse. Some people made comments that the teacher should never have done that because it caused that child embarrassment. Well, good. If it caused the child embarrassment, then it served its purpose. Embarrass the child will think twice. And an example is my son Joe. A lot of you all know him. But he, in the first grade, had to stand in the corner for talking. He knew he wasn't supposed to be talking, but he did it anyway. And the teacher stood him in the corner. And he said he cried, and he was embarrassed, and he was humiliated. But he said he never did it again because he didn't want to be standing in the corner. And that taught him his lesson. This is what kids need. If you can't do anything to the kids and there's no consequences, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. They're not stupid. They're going to keep it up, and they're going to see how far they can push you. And I, honest to God, have got to say, I could never be a teacher because by the end of the day, after putting up with all the bullshit from the majority of these kids coming in and out of that classroom thinking they can do anything, I would absolutely have lost my mind. I would have lost my mind. And there's a Facebook person I know, and this person knows who they are. I won't call any names, but this person knows who they are. That's in high school. And almost every day I will see a text on there from her. Well, when I come home from work, and I get home at 2, so I know she's still in school. And she'll be texting on that. She's sitting in class bored. Somebody text me, please. Well, what are you doing bored in a classroom? Aren't you supposed to be studying? You know, and if you're bored, can't you study? Can't you read? Can't you do something aside from sitting there and texting? Not only have teachers lost control of the students in the classroom by having their hands tied and not being able to do anything, but sound like something running across my roof. But with the age of technology, the students are they're not paying attention because they've got their cell phones, they're texting. It's crazy. And there is just no way to keep the cell phones out of the classroom. There's just not. Unless you do a pat down of every child when they go into a classroom. Dude, you cannot do that. So, you know, there's some good students that want to learn, that do pay attention. But when you have that one person that's going to act up, the whole class is going to suffer because of that. So I see nothing wrong with the cone of shame. I see nothing wrong with standing that child in the corner. Nothing wrong at all. And as far as the bully situation, they're claiming zero tolerance for bullies, but yet every time you hear about somebody being bullied and actually finally taking a stand, they're the ones who get suspended. Now, how stupid is that? Like the video that went viral where the bully come up and hit this little boy 3 times. And that boy did not hit that bully back until the 3rd hit. And then that boy picked that bully up and slammed him down and walked away. And the boy who was being bullied was suspended. Not the bully, but the boy who beat the bully up was suspended. That is wrong. Priorities are wrong. They're ass backwards. What's going on today? I couldn't be a teacher. Oh, and somebody had left a comment on there about if they thought did they think that the teacher went too far? And somebody made a comment and said, well, at least she's not sleeping with him. Teachers get such a bad rap because of a few. And in a couple of states, and I'm not sure, I don't remember what states they are, they're talking about if the teacher's classroom doesn't have X amount of grade average students, that the teacher will be fired because the teacher's not doing their job. How stupid is that? You can't teach somebody that's not willing to be taught. That's just the bottom line. You can't do it. Teachers' hands are tied. They can do absolutely nothing. And if the students get an attitude, the parents blame the teachers, the parents blame the schools, the parents blame everybody except them. Kids are just getting out of control. And when I go, well, sometimes in the mornings I'll go pick Stephanie up on my days off. I'll go pick her up from her job. And we're coming home and we're getting ready to come through the gates up here where I'm going to take her home. And you got kids walking to the bus stop that's walking in the middle of the road. And I literally have to slow down and go around them. Now, if there's a car coming this way, I'm going to have to stop and wait on that car because these kids are texting, talking, and walking in the road. And they hear me coming because they'll turn around and look right at me and turn around and keep walking. They don't try to get over to the side. They don't even attempt to walk on the side of the road. That's the way these kids are being. And when one of those children get hit by a bus or by a car, or by somebody that comes flying around that corner and does not see them, or by somebody who intentionally runs over them, then the parents are going to cry, somebody hurt my baby. I taught my children from the time they were little, from the time they were walking on the road, even if they were walking with me down the street to a neighbor's house or whatever, you walk on the side of the road. You stay on the side. And my kids were able to walk to school when they were in elementary school. They stayed on that sidewalk. They didn't walk in the road. They looked both ways. They were respectful. And in Virginia, when my kids were little too, and when I was little, and when my kids was little, the school buses, if you were not at that bus stop, you got left. If you were taking your time going down the street, the bus would just pull off and leave you. Out here, buses don't do that. The buses will sit there. You could be way up the street, walking, taking your time and texting. That bus is going to sit there and wait on you. And that's the craziest shit I ever saw. I have got behind a school bus before and had to sit and turn my engine off while they waited on kids to come out of their houses. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Kids don't even rush to get to the bus stop. They act like that. I mean, and I'm not even saying that they walk at a regular walk. They just stroll. Right like this. They'll be like, and they see the bus, and they might even stop and do that. Put their foot, and that bus will just sit there. It's craziness. And the bus stops like every few houses out here. Not once on every block. The kids don't meet all at one place at a bus stop. Not here. You can be coming down the street I live on. They stop every 2 or 3 houses. And kids come out of their house. They don't have a designated bus stop. They come out of their house. It's ridiculous. It's just, I get on this subject and it just makes me crazy. Because the majority of kids today have no respect. Because they're used to having everything handed to them. Anyway, now I'm sure that I'm going to get a lot of slack on this video, and that's okay. You have a right to your opinion, just like I have a right to my opinion. And that's just it. But anyway, that's my rant and rave for today. So tell me what you think about the teacher that put the collar on the child in school. Do you think that that was abuse? Do you think it was fair punishment? What do you think? And what would you have done if it was your child? Until next time, bye-bye.